Have you ever read a sentence and suddenly become concerned about a 3,300-year-old statue? About 3,300 years, of course. This actually happened to us. So while we were researching the Great Pyramids and the Great Sphinx, we came across a scientific text. At first, it seemed perfectly natural. It explained that the Great Sphinx was not built block by block. It was carved directly from natural limestone bedrock. Well, nothing surprising here. But then we read a sentence that completely stopped us in our tracks. The article cited an estimate that, under the environmental conditions surrounding the Sphinx, sections of its limestone could erode by about the length of a ruler over the course of about a century. Wait, does this mean that... Is the Sphinx really getting smaller? Then our brains did what they do best, connected two completely unrelated things. Suddenly, we remembered the episode we made about Nefertiti's bust. The famous bust of Nefertiti is also made of limestone. Oh no. Should we be worried about Nefertiti too? Shouldn't it have faded by now? It's much smaller than the Sphinx anyway. Seriously, for a few minutes we stopped worrying about the Sphinx and started worrying about Nefertiti. These historical monuments around the world are truly important and treasured. So we went back and read more. We looked at more research, and fortunately, we realized that we had been almost completely wrong about the subject of the article. The estimate was not about general limestone. He was talking about Abul Hol in its own environment. The Giza Plateau is an incredibly harsh place for exposed limestone. The Sphinx has been exposed to desert winds for thousands of years. Temperature changes, groundwater, humidity, salt crystallization, and constant exposure to the outdoors. This is a completely different situation. Nefertiti's bust has spent its modern history inside museums under carefully controlled conditions. Its greatest enemies are not the desert climate. They are things like accidental knocks, vibrations, improper transportation, or unnecessary touching. So no, being made of limestone doesn't mean that every object is equally susceptible to weathering. That's one of the cool things about reading scientific research. Sometimes a sentence seems shocking until you keep reading, and that's exactly why we always try to follow the evidence to the end. If you enjoy these little research puzzles, subscribe to Art.timeline, because sometimes the most fascinating discoveries are the ones we weren't even looking for.